Welcome back to another Film Geek movie review. In just a moment, I'm going to walk my happy butt over to the futon to check out the new Max original, The Parenting. The Parenting is directed by Craig Johnson, and it has one crazy awesome cast. It's starring Nick Doblin, Brendan Flynn, Brian Cox, Edie Falco, Lisa Kudrow, and Dean Norris. This movie tells the story of a couple that decide to rent a beautiful cabin in the woods and invites their parents and other extended family to come along for a nice little weekend getaway. What they don't know is that this house might be the entrance to hell. There's some kind of demon in this house, and it starts affecting their weekend of family fun. Guys, this movie looks like it is going to be a blast. It looks like something like Meet the Parents meets The Exorcist. And you know who loves a good horror comedy? Why, my cat Haku, who is patiently waiting for me over on the futon. So it's enough of me sitting here jibber-jabbering on. It's time for me to head over to the futon to check out The Parenting. Just getting done watching The Parenting, and guys, this movie was okay. It was probably the most okayest movie I've seen so far this year. Not so bad, not so good, just right there, right in the middle. Okay, so let's get this started, shall we? We're going to get things started with negatives, then move into the positives to end the video on the ever so important high note. Now, this movie doesn't necessarily have characters. Everyone in this film seems more like a caricature, not necessarily a character. They're very two-dimensional, and it just seems like they're playing kind of a stereotype character for a movie like this. We have the stern father who doesn't tell his child that he loves him. We have the busybody mom, the absent-minded kind of mom who delivers some funny little one-liners, and then the, I guess you could just say the Midwestern dad. I guess that's the best way to put that character, is just the Midwestern dad. And those are the main characters in this movie. And then there's another character played by the actress Vivian Bang. And I didn't really bring her up in the intro, I'm sorry, but she does play one of the other main characters in this film, but there doesn't really seem to be any purpose for this character. She doesn't really bring anything to the story, she doesn't add anything to the story, she doesn't really take away a lot from this film, but it's just like, why does this character exist? Why is this character in this movie? They try to give some reasons for her character to be there, but none of it really seems like it matters. It just seems like it was an excuse to just cram in another person. And to be perfectly honest, I did like the fact that this was families coming together and, kind of, again, like the Meet the Fockers kind of situation here, where two families are meeting each other over the weekend for the first time, two people who are thinking about getting together, blah, 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 so on and so forth. So it's really kind of a cool thing. And they try to bring in this character to make her kind of like another family member, but it just doesn't seem like they bring her in well enough with the characters, and there's not enough real good chemistry between them to really get that vibe. So I don't really know why this character was in the film in the first place. The pacing in this film is also very odd. This movie will do something where it seems like the film is about ready to take off and start moving at a much faster pace, and then it will have like a little action sequence where some wackiness ensues, and then it's like the whole cast goes, oh, whoo, okay guys, hold on, that was a lot of excitement. Let's all just take it down a notch and talk about some things for a minute, okay? Okay, let's have some talking moments, and then, oh my gosh, the demons are back again. And that's just kind of how this movie flowed. The pacing just felt very uneven. The movie only clocks in at about an hour and 40 minutes, but you really do feel that hour and 40 minutes. And I think that if they would have just taken out that character that really didn't need to be there, the movie could have been tied down to a nice tight 130, but I don't think that would have really have helped the pacing a lot in this film in the first place. The jokes aren't half bad. The comedy does rely a lot on slapsticky situation. There is some decent little one-liners and all, but in all honesty, I didn't find this movie nearly as funny as I was hoping I would. It has its moments, but all in all, it falls just a little flat for me. Now, there were some things I did like about it, despite the fact that the characters themselves do not have a lot of depth. That does not mean that the actors did a bad job. I would actually say that Dean Norris and Lisa Kudrow were probably my two favorite out of the entire bunch. They really brought some different characterization to those very mundane characters, and it really was a lot of fun. Brian Cox was also fun in this film also. And then another actor that I forgot to mention was Parker Posey. She's in this film also. She has a small but important role, and she just plays a typical Parker Posey kind of abstract weirdo and all. So all in all, I would say the performances were really good, even though in a lot of ways there wasn't a lot of substance for these actors to really latch on to deliver a really great performance, but they do deliver it enough to keep you entertained and watching the movie. I mean, all in all, guys, I would say that I was entertained, but if this film would have been released in theaters, I don't think that I would have had such a positive feeling about this movie. I think that this film was worth a one-time viewing, but I don't see myself going back and watching this film again. I forgot to mention some really spotty CGI in this film also, some very cheap, very bad-looking CGI, but there was some pretty decent makeup effects in this film. There was some moments of practical effects that did look pretty good, but all in all, the movie did definitely look like a streaming service movie. It didn't have the polish of a theatrical film, in my opinion. So yes, was I entertained for a good hour, 40 minutes or so? Pretty much. But other than that, guys, I don't necessarily think that this thing is worth a lot of your time. If you're curious, check it out. If the actors, just seeing these actors together in the film might be enough for you. But all in all, guys, if you don't happen to catch this film, I don't think you're going to be missing out on a whole lot. Alright, guys, thanks again for checking out the Film Geek. If you liked what you saw here today, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, ring that bell for notifications, and give me the old thumbs up if you like what you're seeing. And if there's one more thing you can do, folks, that is keep watching movies. You know I'm gonna.